Can I ask, Ashley, what benefits do you particularly see to businesses in North Wales if APD was devolved?
I think I'll agree with Duncan here in terms of our position is that we would like to see a reduction in APD across the UK. If that's not possible, then we would support devolution of APD to Wales. The benefits to North Wales, pretty much zero, being honest.
Why is that?
Because 91% of North Walians use Manchester and Liverpool. If you take a very straightforward, if I can use a brand name, Google map, and you go from Dolgellau, which is almost the most southwest of part of North Wales, you hit Manchester and Liverpool first, Birmingham second, and Cardiff last. No one uses Cardiff Airport, so there's no direct benefit for us. There is an indirect benefit for the brand of Wales. It is good to have that kind of business open for business kind of attitude that would give Wales, I think, for trade and investment. There is one small benefit if APD is devolved and it's abolished for North Wales, and that's around Harden Airport, where Airbus operate a staff shuttle and they pay APD. But other than that, its brand and its image, but there's no direct net benefit for North Wales.
Don't you think, as the previous First Minister for Wales set out very clearly, that actually it would benefit airports in North Wales, because there could then be increased traffic to Cardiff Airport, increased business in Cardiff Airport. That would mean more routes, which would mean more possibility of there being hopper flights coming to Cardiff and then on.
Yeah.
And that's very clearly what the First Minister said, that's what businesses have said, that's what Cardiff Airport has said. That surely would lead to businesses particularly in the northwest of Wales, much easier then to hop on a short flight to Cardiff and then off wherever they want to go in the world.
I think in theory it sounds good, but Manchester Airport has 220 destinations worldwide. Liverpool is rapidly sort of catching up.
But if it's cheaper in Cardiff because we've abolished APD?
I think if you base it on what is the quickest way for me to get to my destination, regardless of if it's a little bit cheaper in Cardiff, you will still go with the most obvious choice,
which is quite a long time to get from Anglesey to Manchester.
It's almost exactly the same as it is to drive to the airport park, go through security, then fly to Cardiff. So for us, it's a question of what is the easiest and most cost-effective way, and that is not to fly to Cardiff.
Okay. Sorry. Just to Ben. So in your campaign for devolution of APD, are you concerned about your members across the whole of Wales? Do you consider North Wales and South Wales, or are you primarily campaigning on behalf of South Wales membership?
No, on behalf of all Wales. I think we're pragmatic about the level of benefit that derives directly to members from North Wales for using Cardiff as an air gate. I think you make a compelling case for Cardiff as an international gateway to the western portion of the UK. I think there is definitely opportunity there. I think, though, and it seems that in the conversation today, we haven't considered how a better operating, more competitive Cardiff Airport can serve as an economic development asset to project the Welsh brand, which then benefits businesses wherever. And I think that is, as we go forward and as we exit the EU, we are going to have to work harder. We have to sweat more to raise the brand profile of Wales and all the regions of Wales. And I think a fully functional international airport and a credibly competitive international airport is a part of that infrastructure that one would want to see. I think even if you look at the notion of the Great Western Powerhouse, for instance, Cardiff represents the only viable proposition for an international airport should you have the devolution of long-haul APD and then seek international flights. So again, it is part of what one would want to see in a competitive region. I don't think we can look to Birmingham or look to Manchester to take that role on behalf of that region. So I think there is an opportunity then to look at Cardiff Airport, particularly as a part of strategic infrastructure for economic development.
Would you agree then that the UK government's reluctance and refusal to devolve APD is actually putting an unjustifiable constraint on Wales, on its economy and potential for growth?
We've always seen it as incongruous, the fact that that was the omission of the adoption of the Silk Commission. FSB supported the full adoption of the Silk Commission recommendations. It's always been a little bit incongruous. I hear from the work that I do, I'm very, very aware of the presence of the lobby of Bristol Airport, but I think we would agree, although we have no expert analysis of our own, but we agree with the North Point Aviation analysis that it shows that it would be relatively limited impact. And even if you just look at the international traffic, then there is something that Cardiff can do that is complementary to Bristol and the region rather than displacing. So I think it's one of the bits of the Silk Commission puzzle that has yet to be put in place, but we feel should be put in place.
Mr. Simpson, did you want to come in, by the way?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say more broadly, I think the East Wales region, which is a NUTS 2 classification from the European Commission, I think that the most recent data from 2016, and that indicated that the volume of goods was less than 1,000 tonnes. I think between 2014 and 2016, it's never exceeded 3,000. Now, obviously, APD is levied on passengers rather than goods, but I think that's quite a telling indicator in terms of the current utility of Cardiff Airport. Now, it's entirely possible that abolition could further stimulate demand for services, services exports rather than goods. But I think the current utility of Cardiff is highly debatable, particularly for airports, exports of goods.